Okay, this will be my first League of Legends Shoutcast, or Shoutcast Colorcast, now you know. It's gonna be pretty bad, but gotta start somewhere. Okay, so this is a matchup between Cloud9 TSM, a pretty historic matchup. One that's, well, probably they're arguably two of the best teams in North America ever, and they've met each other in the finals many a time. Um, TSM has had quite a drought this season. In my opinion, partly to the fault of the bot lane not performing to the best in the West, quote unquote, that they've had the name to live up to. And it looks like TSM is pulling out an Urgot mid, which is pretty unorthodox. Looks like they're going to be lacking a lot of magic damage throughout this composition. They might want to get an early lead pretty fast. Although the C9 side lacking any tanks to really build throughout those resistances and armor to try and circumvent the Sven and Urgot. Well, Varus always does have the option to build AP, but haven't seen that in a while. While C9 has a very damage-heavy composition, the Camille was probably going to want to get ahead early, same with the Aatrox, while the Kai'Sa and Cassiopeia have pretty good scaling. And what looks like the only front line being the Aatrox, possibly, and the Alistar. The Zac, of course, having a not a very strong early game, will have to try and farm till level 4, at least that's what I've seen. The Tom Kench pick is probably going to save the Varus quite a lot. Sven has not performed this season the way he should have, but I do believe TSM will have a chance in winning this game and having the Worlds. Not missing a single World Championship since their organization's inception. And they have by far been the most dominant North American team ever, but here they are in the Gauntlet Finals. And Cloud9 have been the Gauntlet champions so many years in a row, just to make it to Worlds. And arguably, they are one of the better international teams for North America. They've by far performed the best in international tournaments. Here we have the Camille getting an early lead, taking out a Scuttle. The Scuttle control has been extremely important ever since the patch that changes it, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get anything on Bjergsen due to a ward in the river, but they now know where Camille is, and they can act upon it. Greg seems to be trying to counter Blabbers. There's a fight going on in the river, and it seems like the TSM bot and mid lane will be able to respond faster. And it seems like Grig will get that Scuttle Crab. And that's a big thing. That's a big win for the Zac, who needs to get through this early game to really start to be effective with these ganks. And here's Blabber taking out the blue buff, trying to get some sort of early lead over the Zac. And he has his bot lane to come up and help him since they have to push down bot lane. And we have here what seems like a small minion lead for the Cassiopeia in the mid lane, which I don't entirely know how this Cassiopeia Urgot matchup goes, but I'm sure that's why it's unorthodox. And what looks like a lead in the top lane for Aatrox makes a lot of sense. I'm sure Camille is wanting to get a much bigger lead right now, but she will scale better into the mid game than Zac will, and we'll see how that goes. Well, it looks like the wave is frozen, and Bjergsen's threatening Jensen to even come up and try to get a minion. But the wave will push back to Jensen's way, and we have Licorice up here getting a pretty sizable lead for himself, minion-wise. I mean, the Aatrox will win this matchup no matter what. I mean, while Sion is a strong laner, it's not on the same level as Aatrox. And that's exactly why I see him dodging out of each ability. And we have Bjergsen roaming up to the river. See what he's trying to do. Maybe he's just checking for the Camille. Ooh, and we have a fight going on down bot lane. A good trade for TSM. That's stuff that we need to see from this bottom lane if they want the hope to win. And you know, the sneaky and laning phase meme. It looks like Zeyzal might be going for it back. I don't know. I don't think they will be able to dive sneaky, but we'll see. Blabber is still not being able to get much of a lead onto Grig. But I mean, we'll see if anything about that can change. This is a much slower paced meta, and Mithy getting some good wards throughout the bottom side of the jungle. They know that Blabber's in the top side river now due to that. Ooh, okay, and we have a gank going on down in the mid lane, and it doesn't look like. Ooh, counter gank from Blabber. Mithy is here too. Ooh. Oh, Bjergsen knocked back. Okay, and saved by Mithy. That was a good counter engage by C9, but TSM seemed to be overstepping a little bit. Had to blow some of their flashes. And the only summoners lost on the C9 side would be Jensen's flash. That is not a good trade for TSM. And Zeyzal heading back down bot lane, where Sneaky has burned his DP to get back to lane. But Sven has the wave frozen in front of his tower. Sneaky's losing a lot of minions that way, and Sven is getting quite a sizable lead for himself. But Sven is alone right now. Mithy isn't back just yet. And 1v2, Sven seems to be winning a trade. And Blabber just backing, trying to get some tempo for himself. Ooh, and a TP down to the bot lane by Urga, and this is a 4-man on the C9 bot lane, and it seems like Zeyzal won't be able to make it out here. Yep, and that's first blood, and it seems like they're gonna give it over to Bjergsen, who seems to be the carry for this game. And we'll see if they can translate this into anything big. Doesn't seem like it. Grig will just take it back. And Jensen's getting to push up mid lane. Here, okay, we'll have to see. So you can see Grig coming down from his Gromp and the TP from Bjergsen in base. And Grig will get the, well, Sneaky's going to get out, but it seems like Zeyzal's just going to sacrifice himself so Sneaky can get away. And it seems like a pretty easy first blood for TSM. Okay, so we have Blabber and Mithy around this mid lane. There might be a fight brewing. And I think Blabber just wanted to get level 6. And Jensen's just going to push out the wave and go about his business. So we have some people accumulating around top lane. Licorice clearing a control ward, contesting the Krugs. It seems like he's heading back to lane. Blabber in the top jungle might be trying to ambush Grig or get a gank on Bjergsen, something like that. Ooh, Blabber has seen Grig, and he might try to contest this red buff, and I think he will. But it seems like Grig is the wiser and pulls it back a little bit. Ooh, and a good ult from Grig, but he looks like he's getting Grig shut down, but Grig gets away. Had no flash. That was well played by Grig. So, red buff being taken by Blabber. And, I mean, these are the type of leads that we need to see from Blabber here, playing on this Camille. Camille won't scale nearly as well as the Zac will. Zac will become a major front lane later on even with carries and shredders like Cassiopeia and Kai'Sa. And Licorice could end up being sort of a split push threat later on in the game, but we'll have to see how they play that. And Sven and Mithy getting the push down here against the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa definitely isn't known for early game prevalence, but Varus is a good laner. Let's see if they can make anything happen around there, try to get a first turret. Bjergsen pushing out his lane, see if he'll roam or try to back for a few items or something. Jensen just getting his blue buff, and he's back to lane. He's not going to listen. He's probably not going to miss any of those minions. Greg clearing out his bot side jungle, giving his blue over to Bjergsen. It's the right move. He won't be able to keep up with Cassiopeia with a wave clear if he doesn't get a blue buff. He's already low on mana. And it looks like Hans are clearing out the top side of the jungle, trying to get some intel on where Blabber is. And Hanser may be going for a gank on Jensen, and I don't think he knows it's here, and I don't see Jensen getting out of this. He's pulled back by Jensen, and Bjergsen gets the kill. That is 2 kills on Bjergsen. This Urgot is proving to be quite the menace here in the mid lane. Not what he expected. We'll see what Sneaky can do in the bot lane. And Licorice continuing to get leads here. What seems like an 11 CS lead. Okay, here we are back in the mid lane. Jensen had no idea where Hanser was, and that's just a really good gank by Hanser. Greg jumping in just for the fun of it. And Licorice trading well against Hanser, trying to keep up in this trade war. And you can see how Aatrox's Q works well into Scion's Q, canceling it out. And Hanser always has to let go of it early on. And he walks right into Blabber, and it looks like he's going to have to burn his ult to get away. And that's a lot of pressure right there, just gone. They might be able to look for a dive, but Greg is nearby, so if they do, it could end in disaster. And a little control ward next to his tower. It's an interesting one. Ooh, and a gank coming in for Greg on Licorice, and Licorice may need to burn Flash or his ultimate, and he gets out just fine. But those are 2 ults burned in the top lane. Not really much accomplished by either team in that time up there, which is good for TSM. They want this Camille to fall behind. They don't want this Camille to get ahead. And the more time she wastes not being able to get stuff going on, the weaker she's going to get. I mean, she's not going to be a side lane split pusher. She does not have TP. It seems like C9 playing around the Scuttle and the Dragon. The spot side of the river is extremely warded up for C9. It seems to be one of the strong suits for C9. Their warding is superb. Meanwhile, Mithy is getting some wards of his own around the Dragon as well. Mithy also still getting the push on. This tower's about at 50% health. Don't know how they're going to be able to defend it, and it seems like they're going to need to back off this turret, but Blabber is also here. Greg, they may go for a dive. But Greg's suspecting that Blabber may be nearby and backs off. Well, Greg does not have any camps to go and clear. He moves towards the mid lane, but he is on top of a ward, so he's not going to be able to get anything done here. Blabber seems to be cutting off Greg. Greg and Bjergsen heading down to the bot lane. Might be trying to force his tower down. Licorice moving back, maybe looking for a TP opportunity, but we don't know. C9 seems to be backing out this turret, but they're coming back to defend it. Bjergsen is still off to the side, so is Greg. This turret may be going down really soon. Bjergsen coming back up to the mid lane as he loses a few minions, but nothing too serious. And more trading going on in the top lane. And you see that counter, the Aatrox Q into Scion Q. It just doesn't seem like Hanser's able to get any of these Qs off to do major damage or get the knockup. Zazel and Sneaky barely holding on to their turret, and that was the first time I think I've seen Hanser get the knockup with this Q. And it does some pretty significant damage to Licorice, and there you have Licorice canceling it again, but it seems like he's going to back off and let Hanser clear out this wave. Okay, now we have Blabber around the top side. It seems like they're going to be starting up the Rift Herald as bot lane gets the first turret and the Dragon. It's a pretty significant lead for the TSM roster. And this is a look we haven't seen much from TSM, playing around their bot side. And this looks like the Rift Herald will be claimed by C9. Alright. And Licorice clearing out his wave. He's actually pushed in. Jensen pushing in the wave because Bjergsen has backed. He may lose a few minions, but nothing too serious. He already has those 2 kills to give himself a pretty sizable lead. He has a Negatron cloak over Jensen. And boots. Boy, well, Cassiopeia can't get boots. My mistake. And Hanser just clearing out each wave. He has the turret down to about half, but I don't think the turret's going to go down anytime soon. Licorice trying to get himself a pretty sizable lead. It's a 12 minion lead right now, 2 waves. And Mythy clearing out a lot of the bot river of vision, making it not very safe for Sneaky to come up and farm these waves that are so far up in the wave with no protection. Bjergsen heading down into the fog of war, making Jensen second guess this. Mythy on top of a ward, but I don't think you can see that ward, control ward right on top of it. But they end up getting it in the end. Blabber around the mid lane, but Jensen needs to back off a bit. The Var's ult might come out flying. And TSM Grig and Blabber trading a few blows, but it seems like their main goal right now is the mid turret, and it seems like they're going to be able to get some significant damage onto it. See if they choose to use the Rift Herald. And as the TSM members disperse, Bjergsen will clear out the next wave. Might be death pushing Zazel, but they might be able to clear out some more vision. And that's a Varsal. And the combo used by Zazel, Blabber going in. No, Zazel just walking away with his ultimate on Jensen, putting out some major damage, but messes up his ult. And a TP in from Hanser ults in and catches Blabber. And it doesn't seem like Blabber is going to be able to do much for the rest of this fight. And Licorice is going in with his ultimate and catches Hanser, but he's resurrecting. And it seems like the Zac Blobs have gone out. Ooh, but Hanser is putting out some major damage in that form, and Grig is able to get away with the help of the Bjergsen teleport, and that looks like all she wrote. Licorice gets away with a sliver of health, and that's a 1-for-0 in favor of Cloud9. Sneaky wasn't able to use his ult there, but I'm sure he put out some pretty big damage, especially with that Storm Razor Rush. It brings a lot of early damage for this Kai'Sa. And Sven on the board gives them more early power as well. Seems like these teams are going for more early power on both sides of the map. And here we are with the Acer Predator replay. It seems like Zazel burns his ult to get out of the Varus ult, and then he combos the Varus, and then the Zac trying to get out, and Zazel doing the same. But then you have Hanser TPing in from back, ults in right on top of Blabber, and does a huge chunk of damage to him. But Blabber is able to get out, and here's Licorice with his ultimate active going right in, and he goes straight on top of Hanser for the kill. And he's able to walk away when he's healing. And we have another fight in the top lane, and it looks like Licorice just caught. I don't see him getting out of this. Got the three big tanks going after him. I think they could have given that kill over to Sven, but it's not too big of a deal. And might use and here's C9 using the Rift Herald in the mid lane. They have an opening due to the TSM members being mostly in the top lane, so they're trading a kill for a turret, mid turret, in fact, too. And it looks like this is a better trade for C9, especially since they now have pressure down in the bot lane. Zazel is getting some good wards around this bottom side jungle, giving some protection for Sneaky so he can get this tower. Meanwhile, Sven on the top lane is also getting a tower. They may be trading towers here. I mean, Hanser may try to come out and stop this, but I don't know if he can. And here's Sven clearing more of the minions after he takes the tower. And it looks like C9's a little bit behind on this play, but I don't think they're going to be able to be stopped. And looks like Sneaky's just going to get this turret for free. Well, not for free, 1-for-1 on a turret. And this overall trade seems to be going pretty well. And right now there's a 2,000 gold lead for TSM, and I'm sure most of that gold is on Bjergsen with those 2 kills. And Licorice, none the wiser, didn't even see this coming. This is the long-range engage that TSM has that can't be accounted for. And so you just see Licorice try to go for these minions, try to slow down the push on the top turret. Bjergsen clearing out some vision. Same with Zazel, and doing their best. We'll see if Grig can get a long-range engage off. Hans are coming around. He could try to ult right into them. And Blabber needs to retreat. We're just risking an engage from Hans or Grig. C9 still holding on to this mid turret ever since that first push. And we'll see if they can continue to do so. Jensen and Licorice on a flank. And we'll see if they can do anything off of that. But Licorice clearing out this mid wave, but backing up. Seems like C9 is just pulling them apart right now. And an engage from Zazel coming in. And same with Licorice. Sneaky ults in, doing some big damage. Sven has to flash away. Hanser on the backside getting zoned off by Zazel. And it doesn't look like any kills are to be had here. And Hanser gets caught by the Camille ultimate. And it seems like he's just going to get burned down by Jensen. And that's a 1-for-0 for Cloud9. And we'll see if TSM can do a counter engage, but it doesn't seem like it. It's another good pick for C9. And C9 seems to be like winning these 5-on-5 fights. And just pulling these TSM members apart, trying to stay as one unit. That's an Infernal Drake, a really big win for C9. And it is now post 20 minutes, so that Baron is on the table. And we'll see this Licorice coming in with his ultimate on, sneaky ulting in, just doing so much damage to Mithy and Sven, getting it right out, but I was mistaken. So Mithy was the one burning his ult, and all the rest of the TSM members are forced to back off while Hanser's chased. And Hanser, you can't get out of that. You can't get out of that Camille ultimate. It's a shame. And we'll see what these teams can do right now. TSM currently has the better vision in the Barren River, and that's a lot of damage from the Cassiopeia. I would have thought the Kaisa would have done a little bit more, but Jensen definitely putting in his fair share in that fight. Right now, TSM pushing up the mid wave, trying to get something done. They still have not gotten that mid tower. And we are at the point in the game where it seems like C9 is definitely high powered right now. I mean, right now I think TSM, even with the even gold lead, I think TSM is definitely looking to try and take this later, especially with their front line. Because C9 really has a lack of a front line, and here we are again, Licorice getting ganked by the TP, Bjergsen coming in and Hanser, and it doesn't seem like Licorice is going to be able to get out of this, but he's going to try and buy as much time as possible for his team. And we'll see if his team can get anything done here. Actually, we have a TP coming in from Sneaky. This doesn't seem like it's going to work out for them. More of a waste of a TP. And Licorice goes down. It seems like Zazel's also killing himself here. He has to burn his flash. And that's the Varus ult. And now Zazel has to burn his ult. And he falls down anyways. Seems like that was just a large waste of summoners and just giving over gold to TSM. See, this is what TSM needs. They need to get these picks, and they need to stall out the game. And we'll see if TSM can do anything with the man lead that they have right now. Right now, they already have control of the Baron River. I don't think they'll. I don't think they'll try the Baron. But they are. Alright, let's see if C9 can do anything about this. There's the blue ward, and they know they're doing it. We'll see if TSM Mithy can zone them. Blabber going around to the side, trying to look for a steal maybe. Sneaky putting in some damage. Baron's about to 15,000 health, but Bjergsen gets it, and Blabber seems to be in quite the predicament. Burns a stopwatch, but Hanser's the one getting burned down now, and Zach has now burned his passive, and it seems like he's gonna fall down too. But he flashes out, and Grig gets away. That's a good steal for TSM, getting the Baron and trading it 1-for-1 actually. Zazel falls during that fight. So it seems like C9 is going to have to play on the back foot for the better part of 3 minutes. And here we are in the Acer Predator replay. See, Jensen's trying to get as much damage as he can down, while Licorice is being afraid to go in. Blabber's looking for the steal, but he's not able to get it, and now he's in the middle of 3 members. But he burns his stopwatch, and, well, he's able to get out afterwards. But we'll see how Zazel dies here. They're able to trade. And the mid turret finally goes down. It only takes a Baron for TSM. Bjergsen pushing up the top wave, see what kind of pressure that can take care of for C9. Bjergsen's walking over a ward, and we'll see how Hanser can push the bot wave, see if he'll become a split push threat against this Licorice Aatrox. But it seems like the main part of TSM are going to be pushing up this mid lane and getting pressure throughout the mid and top jungle. And they're ganking Licorice again, and he's gonna have to go. You know, Licorice running away, clearing out this top wave, making it a little bit harder for them to try and push these waves out. And Licorice is gonna keep running. And it seems like Sven's just going for this turret. And it seems like they're gonna be able to get this turret. Now, what's C9 doing in the rest of the map? They're recalling. It looks like they're going to be taking this defensively instead of pushing up for this mid wave. Licorice back to defend this top turret. He was able to get out of that last fight. It seems like TSM's going to go for a reset, and after Bjergsen clears this wave, he might reset too. They have full control, and C9's gaining control through this topside jungle again, and clearing out these this vision that TSM has accumulated throughout there. Hanser just clearing out this mid wave, and Baron has about 45 seconds left on it, and I don't think that TSM will be able to do anything less or anything more with this. Sven getting the blue buff, and walking right by that ward. I don't think he noticed it. There's an Ocean Drake coming up right now as well, so it seems like TSM might get mid priority and head to that dragon. Ooh, there's a C9 ward that they just haven't caught on to yet. Then he's on. Greg still has a sweeper ready. This ward may prove to be pivotal in stopping or contesting this dragon. Bjergsen pushing out this bot wave and heading to the dragon, and they are starting the dragon. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think this ocean is going to matter too much, but it's an objective. If it helps them win the game, that's what they need. Meanwhile, C9 has gotten an Infernal earlier in the game, and that has really helped their damage output. And a 2.1k gold Baron power play. It's fairly well, but they weren't able to break the base, which is what TSM really needs right now. But I'm sure they will be able to do this on the next Baron if they are able to obtain it. And we'll need to see some better play from Licorice specifically on not getting caught. Because Licorice has been getting caught most of this game and causing a lot of problems for C9. Who Licorice throughout this summer split has actually been kind of the rock for C9, and we'll see if he can step up the play later on in this game. Now we're looking at major item points for some of these carries. Sneaky sitting on 2 items, while this Varus has 3. This can mean a lot for the damage output on each team. And the Righteous Glory and Stoneplate completed for Bjergsen. He's going to be extremely hard to take down. And Blabber going straight for the Sterix gauge, not even caring about the Triforce, going for a straight frontline roll. And the damage by the Scion has been enormous, and we have Greg diving in, but his passive seems to be going out. And Sneaky on the top lane, split pushing, taking down these towers. C9 needs to buy as much time as they possibly can here. Actually, Sneaky is teleporting back. Blabber going in. and a lot of members on C9 are low right now. I don't see them being able to defend this turret. Ooh, and Sven gets caught, but Zazel goes down. Bjergsen heading in with his Righteous Glory, burning his stone plate as well. And Jensen's getting pretty low, and on the side, Licorice is able to get Sven. Ooh, Hanser goes in and is able to take down Licorice. And we'll see if Jensen can put out the damage necessary to try and take down Bjergsen here. Blabber getting extremely low, but it seems like Bjergsen and Methy will be able to get away. Right. And an extremely well fight from C9. Sneaky TPing in, maybe staying on the top side would have been a better choice, maybe getting an inhib turret or an inhib. Anyways, we're going back to the replay here. And TSM just wants to get this tower, and ultimate burned on Jensen, and that was a nice pulverize from Zazel, stopping Grig, and his passive was burned, and Hanser TP's in and goes in, and Sneaky now TP's into the turret after Licorice's ult has been burned, and he's resurrecting, and Blabber's losing a lot of health. And then here we have the re-engage onto Sven from Zazel, but Zazel loses his life in the making, and Bjergsen tries to go on as well, burning his stone plate, thinking he has the tankiness to try and go in, and then Sven just isn't aware of how much damage Sneaky and Licorice can do together, and Hanser flashing in to finish off Licorice. Jensen just putting out enormous amounts of damage from that fight. Right now we have all 10 members around this mid lane, playing around this Baron that has just now come up, fighting for this vision in the river. And TSM looking for an engage, but Hanser's getting caught. He has to burn his stone plate. Hanser does not have flash, but it seems like Bjergsen pushes them off, burning a ghost from his unsealed spellbook and his Righteous Glory, but Mythy getting caught by Licorice, and it looks like it to be a kill, and he burns his flash. A big engage from Grig on Licorice, but Zazel goes in, combos Hanser and Bjergsen, and Sven is caught by Blabber. Blabber caught in that ultimate, and he goes down. Hanser doesn't look like he's going to be able to get out of this one either. And an extremely well counter-engage from C9. Grig trying to clear out this wave, but he heads on his own way anyways, and C9 will be able to get probably an inhib off of this. And we'll see how much damage they can really do to this base. Bjergsen and Grig are the only two TSM members left standing currently, and they go for the inhib. Oh, C9 is still going, seeing if they can get some Nexus turrets. Tom Kinch is back up. Bjergsen is doing some big damage to him, and Grig goes in, but Grig falls. I don't think Bjergsen is tanky enough to get it, but he pulls Blabber in, and I think Bjergsen is too low. Oh, but Bjergsen falls, and it looks like C9 is going to be able to look to end the game here, and they're on the Nexus. That looks like to be GG C9. Game 1 goes to C9. Yeah.